Before the first maps were inked, and before kings learnt to name the heavens, the sky was not empty. It was a graveyard. Far above the mortal world drifted the silent remains of broken realms. Cities burned into silver powder, oceans frozen into glass, forests reduced to sparks that never cooled. Entire civilizations had vanished there, not with screams, but with a final shimmer, as if creation itself had closed its eye and forgotten them. The people below called those lights stars. They were wrong. They were ashes. Every falling star was a fragment of something that had once lived, learned, built, prayed, failed, and ended. Each carried a memory too vast for a single mind. The last spell of a dying sage. The final war song of a buried empire. The breath of an artisan who perfected one impossible craft moments before the world beneath her feet came apart. Most of that dust burned away before touching the earth. But one fragment did not. It fell black as onyx, bright at its center and silent as judgment. Where it struck, the ground did not crater. It listened, and the first to find it was not a king, a priest, or a warrior. It was a gemcutter named Sael Avaris, an old master whose hands had shaped crystals, the spellbinders, singers, blade saints, and oath carriers. He'd spent his life refining stones that could hold technique, fire folded into red facets, frost sleeping inside pale blue cores, lightning caught in yellow veins, chants sealed into emerald light. But every crystal had a limit. A flawed one shattered under power. A young one learned slowly. A dull one obeyed, but never evolved. Sael had grown bitter with age. He had seen fools wield perfect stones and waste them. He had seen geniuses die before their crystals could mature. He believed the world gave knowledge too slowly and demanded death too quickly. Then he found the fallen fragment. It was no larger than his thumb, but when he lifted it, he heard languages that had no surviving mouths. He saw hands carving towers from sound. He saw warriors learning balance from gravity itself. He saw children teaching light to bend around their fingers. He saw worlds ending, and every ending leaving one lesson behind. The fragment did not grant power. It remembered refinement. Sael understood at once. This was not a jewel. It was a cemetery of mastery. Sael worked for 60 nights without sleep. He set the black shard into an amulet of dark metal, then bound it with 3 thin rings, one for strength, one for clarity, one for grace. He believed no art could reach its highest form if the body, mind, and spirit were not carried together. The first ring answered muscle and endurance. The second sharpened thought and command. The third awakened instinct, rhythm, and precision. When the 3 rings aligned around the fallen shard, the amulet opened like an eye. Not physically. Worse, it looked inward. Sael felt every weakness in himself measured without cruelty. His tired bones, his fading memory, his trembling hands. The relic did not heal them. It weighed them, balanced them, and gave each part just enough strength to stand beside the others. For the first time in years, his hand did not shake. He took a dull spell crystal from his bench, one that had refused every refinement, and placed it near the amulet. The crystal brightened, not with raw force, but with understanding. Its inner lines straightened, its flaws became channels. Its sleeping pattern rose one step beyond its former ceiling, as if a forgotten teacher had whispered.
"You are not finished."
Sael laughed until he wept. He had not created a weapon. He had created a mentor for every craft that could be carried in stone. Words spread quietly at first. A singer came with a cracked, resonant stone, and left with a voice that could hold 3 harmonies at once. A duelist brought a blade art crystal that had never answered her, and returned able to cut the falling rain into silver threads. A firecaller arrived with an ember gem that burned wildly, wasting half its heat. Beneath the amulet's gaze, the flame learned discipline. It no longer roared, it spoke. The Starmourn Prism did the same for all of them. It made young arts mature faster. It lifted mastered arts beyond their known rank. It polished every technique until the hidden edge appeared. But the amulet did not favor destruction over protection, nor spell over song, nor weapon over word. Any discipline sealed in crystal could grow beneath it. Every gem learned more quickly. Every skill became cleaner, sharper, more complete. That was its blessing. That was also its danger. Because the prism did not choose who deserved improvement. It only answered hunger. In the north ruled Prince Odran Vel, a conqueror who feared only one thing: limits. He had strong soldiers, brilliant tacticians, and vaults filled with spell crystals taken from defeated cities. Yet he was never satisfied. His fire was not hot enough. His shields were not absolute enough. His assassins were not silent enough. His priests could not bless fast enough to keep pace with his ambition. When he heard of Sael's amulet, he sent gold. Sael refused. He sent titles. Sael refused. He sent soldiers. They did not return. Not because Sael killed them, but because each one who came near the prism heard the remnants of worlds that had died beneath men like Odran. They saw conquest from the view of the conquered. They saw banners raised over ash. They saw victory continuing until nothing remained to rule. One by one, they laid down their weapons and left. So Odran came himself. Round his neck hung 13 stolen crystals, each one carrying a different discipline: flame, frost, storm, command, bloodless warcraft, silent movement, iron skin, and songs that could break courage. He stepped into Sael's workshop and demanded the prism. The amulet brightened. Every stolen crystal around Odran's throat began to grow. Too quickly. Their flaws expanded with their strengths. Their hunger sharpened with their brilliance. Their unfinished patterns climbed beyond safety, each one struggling to become perfect before the others. Fire argued with frost. Silence strangled command. Iron skin locked around breath. War songs fed on fear until there was no courage left inside him. Odran collapsed beneath the weight of his own stolen mastery. The prism had given him exactly what he wanted, more. After that night, Sael understood the final truth of the amulet. The Starmourn Prism did not create wisdom from nothing. It drew from endings. Every improvement carried the dust of a vanished world. Every sharpened technique echoed someone who had perfected it too late. Every rising crystal was lifted by civilizations that would never rise again. To wear the prism was to inherit countless teachers. It was also to carry their silence. Sael became its first true bearer. He traveled from city to city, never staying long, offering refinement to those who needed mastery, but warning them before they accepted.
Your art will grow,
He would say.
but growth is not innocence. Every gift you receive from this relic was paid for by a world that could not keep it.
Some turned away. The wise ones often did. The desperate rarely did. And so the prism passed through ages, from gemcutter to exile, from exile to saint, from saint to traitor, from traitor to a nameless wanderer who wore it beneath a cloak of ash-grey thread. Wherever it appeared, impossible talents bloomed. So did impossible burdens. It is said that the amulet still changes those who wear it. A novice feels lessons arrive too quickly, as if years of practice have been compressed into a single breath. A master feels every technique become cleaner, more elegant, more exacting, as if hidden impurities are being burned away. A scholar feels body, mind, and instinct align into one balanced instrument. But those who listen too closely hear something beneath the brilliance. Not voices, not words, a pressure. The memory of countless worlds reduced to shining dust, each one pressing its final lesson into the wearer's soul. Perfect the gift before the end arrives. For the Starmourn Prism is beautiful, but it is not gentle. It is an amulet made from the remains of heavens. It does not ask whether you are ready to learn. It only asks what you are willing to become when every dead star begins teaching at once.